What is up? What's up, YouTube? YouTube Live. Let's
What was with that?
go.
What is up?
That's how I kick off the show.
Is that how you kick it off?
Welcome
I
to
don't know about
BDC Live, everybody. Sean and Lacey with you, just as we are each and every week. We can see you in the chat.
Hello.
You guys know what to do. We've got to make sure that you guys are locked and loaded. Make sure that you have subscribed to this channel. We need to see you subscribing. We need to see you hitting that like button. We need to see you hitting share. Put this on your social feeds. It's go time, everybody. Text your friends. It's all ready to go.
I know, and tonight's a great night because you know why?
We're giving away $500.
There's $500 on the line tonight.
Half a rack
for you that showed up.
It's like half a rack is going out tonight. $500. Color in, everybody. Half a rack going out. We're drawing 5 names. We have every single Black Diamond Club member in the canasta. All you've got to do is go to www.blackdiamondclub.com. If you're not yet a member, we would love to have you. We promise you we'll make you feel right at home. All right, everybody. Everybody is, well, no, I want to let everybody get in here. Like, call your friends. Let's get them in here. You know,
the watching numbers are ticking up. People are coming.
We're drawing 5 names today. We're giving away $500. Let's tell people what's up first. As you get your friends in here, we've got Sales Matters coming up next week. What are we doing?
Austin, Texas next week.
Austin, Texas, March 24th and 25th. All things sales. People are still registering.
And mindset around sales.
Yeah, your mindset around sales.
Yeah, tickets come in today. It's not too late to take action.
Not too late. If you're like, oh man, I gotta get to sales. You have 1 week to figure out your flights and your hotels. We're going to be coming to Austin, Texas. Super excited. We have Josh Luber from StockX joining us. We've got David Meltzer from David Meltzer Enterprises joining us. We're just with Dave and Julie in LA. We're super excited about the content that Dave's going to be dropping. We've got a couple super special guests going to be in the audience. Justin Sloan, he is the lead for Everbowl, Texas. So we're going to be scouting locations for our 2 Everbowl stores in Austin, but a great opportunity for you to meet Justin. He's beyond that. He's not just the Everbowl guy. He works in finance. He's a capital raiser, incredible guy.
All sorts of amazing things.
And we also got word that Amber Billhauer is going to be joining us as well as an attendee. Yeah. Like, and Amber is
soaking up knowledge,
the queen of all things related to book launches and online platforms and branding. And we're super excited that she's going to be with us. So, there's great action and content that goes on from the stage. That's Lacey and I, plus our guest speakers. But listen, there's magic in that room. We've got 200 or so people coming to Austin. It's going to be absolutely incredible. You're going to love it. We're going to be debuting a couple new sponsors who will be sponsoring BDC Live in the podcast, None of Your Business podcast going forward. And we want to also recognize tonight's sponsor, which is Cairo Nutraceuticals, longtime sponsor of the BDC Lives. Big thanks to them, aka Chirothin. All of the chiropractors who tune in, reach out to Chirothin if you want to know how they are helping chiropractors to grow their business, grow their practices. And so big shout out and thanks to Cairo Nutraceuticals for sponsoring BDC Live tonight's episode, courtesy of them. What else do we have coming up? Bourbon Nights is coming up.
Oh yeah, I thought you guys were sold out.
That is sold out.
Well,
this is a testament to how well we sell, right? Like April 13th to the 15th, going to the middle of nowhere in Oklahoma. Tickets are completely sold out, but hey, maybe we'll do it again. We'll see how this one goes. If nobody gets shot,
you guys are gonna have a blast.
If nobody dies or gets hurt, no broken bones, we'll consider
There's gonna be though a lot of guns and hunting.
Tons of guns. In fact, our host said hanging out. This might be the most impressive private collection of guns. You might be an anti-gun person.
Bourbon Nights would be the right place.
You might not want to kill a hog. Yeah. You might not like bourbon. You might not like cigars. You might not like
information.
Hanging around, you might not like information.
I don't know.
What else
I think they all like information.
We have something else that we were talking about. I can't remember what it is. There's a third thing. Just throw it up there, James. There we go,
James.
Black Diamond Club certified coaching. I think we have 2 or 3 more spots in there. People are starting to figure out what the MO is here. Every time we've been doing a lot of conversations with people and we're explaining to them our business model, our vision for where we're going. Of course, we've got Book Yourself Solid, We are going to be unrolling that unrolling is imminent. It's being built right now. Absolutely amazing. Also excited that we're relaunching Cairo Sushi, Samurai of Cairo Sushi.
So many things going
That's
on.
going to be rolling out. That rollout is imminent. Then, of course, Black Diamond Club certified coaches. We're going to teach you how to build a 7-figure coaching business. And listen,
and you're going to get first crack at C3. Everybody's asking
C3.
about C3, our collaborative group that we're launching across the United States. That's going to essentially disrupt the traditional networking group.
Networking is done. Networking is dead.
Landscape. It's going to
That's
disrupt
so
it.
like 1980s.
Yeah.
Collaboration is brand new. We're leading the way. We're disrupting the industry. When I say we, I mean Lacey. Rhonda as well has put in a ton of work. The first C3 group is off and running. It is just smoking. It's just doing unbelievable. People are coming out of the woodworks like, how do I get involved? How do I be a part of this? Because they've realized that it goes way beyond. It goes way beyond just passing business. How do you just pass business? No. We're talking about creating connection and creating relationships so that you can collaborate. Collaboration trumps referrals all day long. Here's the problem. Most people don't know how to create collaborative relationships.
Right. And I got to give a shout out to my girl, Rhonda, because she really is doing a phenomenal job. They had 17 people at the last event. 17 people. Do you know how hard it is to launch a BNI group and get people to join? She had 17 at C3.
I don't think you can say those letters, but it's
Hold
like
on,
other groups that you have to have a lot of people before you can even start. And they grind to get that many.
Right. We have great strategies to launch that, but she is going to be at sales. So any of you that are interested or excited about that, make sure that you connect with her, reach out to her. She is there to collaborate and work with you. So yeah.
Right. And do it right. Right.
Yeah.
Like be an official, but also be an official C3 group.
A drink.
Don't just say, oh yeah, now I'm making my collaborative group. You're not going to make it because I've seen how much work you put into it.
Yeah.
And there's structure to it. And there's support to it. And there's a guide to it. It's not just a bunch of people standing up and doing their little elevator pitch. It is truly an amazing program that you guys have put together. So yeah. And then look, as these C3 groups start popping up all across the nation, which they are going to pop up all across the nation, then there's going to be more and more people that are going to be looking for guidance because these are new concepts, and the BDC coaches are going to be fed because they're going to be able to service those people because they're looking for guidance. The coaches have been prepped in advance. So it's not reactionary because we're not reactive. Being proactive, we're certifying the coaches, then we're going to build the groups will then look for the coaches are going to make 7-figure businesses real quick.
And look, for those of you that are not running the group or not doing coaching, this still means a whole lot for you. If you have
participate.
If you have these groups in your community, that means there's going to be other like-minded individuals that are learning the same fundamentals that you're learning in BDC with a collaborative mindset. Imagine what you can do for each other in business. I mean, it's going to be massive.
Heck yeah. We got a lot of stuff cooking. I'm super excited about it. I'm getting tons of advice and guidance from the outside world. And speaking of advice and guidance, today we took our Quest 7 group. That's our quest for 7 figures of active income plus 7 figures of passive income mastermind group. We took them into a private room with one of my mentors on the financial side, Andrew Norman, just an absolute genius. And we asked him to kind of break down the economic clock, kind of what's going on. If you don't know, just Google it, the economic clock. You should know about it. And you should also know what time it is currently. We've been preaching on this. When everybody, jokingly says Shawnstradomus, I'll tell you, a lot of it is just understanding the economic clock, learning how to read the tea leaves of the world and the international economy to see where we are, because this is very cyclical. It's very predictable when you understand how things run. And we've been talking about this literally now for maybe going on 3 years, where we began to see that economic clock begin to turn. We began to see the indicators. People were pushing back, and I made a post today. It's quite comical to me, like the number of people the gurus that were telling their sheep, their flock, there is no recession. I mean, and I'm not talking about talking heads on the news. I'm talking about people giving business advice. Like, there's no recession. There's a lot of people too, by the way, saying there is a recession coming, but there's plenty of them like saying, don't worry about it. Well, guess what? Now, all of a sudden, how many emergency webinars are we seeing? Because lo and behold, things kind of shifted on a dime. And this whole idea of a soft landing, I mean, you can only soft land for so long. Like, you had a parachute incident. You even though you have a parachute and you're coming down. I mean, when you make impact, you still make impact, right? And you got to keep your feet underneath you, or else you can have an
And
injury.
big thank you to Skip. Skip put his takeaways in the Black Diamond Club members group from the Quest 7 call. So if
Oh
you're
my
just
gosh.
interested in some of the gold that was dropped or the key points that were hit, I think Skip dropped 3 points for to share with
So
all
did
of
Ella,
you.
Ella
Yeah.
Quill, a
And
couple
I didn't
others.
see, I just only saw Skip's today. So thank you,
Yes.
Ella. Thank you for all of you that posted in the members group so that other people can have access to some of that knowledge as well.
Well, here's a brief recap of what we're seeing.
Yeah.
So we've been on this verge of a recession for many years. People have been, just moving the goalpost,
Mhm.
changing the definition. We refuse to actually call it a recession, but a lot of people, and that was the other thing. A lot of the gurus were like, "Well, we're just in an eternal recession." Like that's actually not true either.
Right.
But we've been flirting with this idea of a recession, and basically we've have this wildfire growing in this thing called inflation, right? And so over time, Andrew schooled us really well on this concept by taking us back historically and looking at, and he was talking about an ounce of gold. And what would an ounce of gold buy 150 years ago? What would an ounce of gold buy 100 years ago? What would an ounce of gold buy 50 years ago? And what would an ounce of gold buy today?
Today.
And it's the same. But an ounce of gold in dollars has gone up. And so he was like, so is the gold worth less or worth more because it's now $1,800 an ounce? Is it worth more, or has the value of the dollar, of the currency, just simply gone down because what it can buy fundamentally has stayed the same, right, throughout
Right. So
history?
its value still is the
The
same.
value's the
Its
same,
purchasing power is still the same, but the
what it's
dollar,
worth
yeah.
compared to the dollar. And so is it the gold or is it the dollar? And so then we have this idea, right, of inflation, supply and demand, the price of things that are out there, right? And so things are increasing in price. We saw the eggs, right, the whole
Mhm.
egg phenomenon. All of these things, as they creep up, gas is more expensive, housing rents going up. He took us on a very enlightening journey relative to the housing market
Right.
and whether or not housing prices have gone up, right? Or
Or is it
is it
interest rate
interest
changes?
rate
Yeah.
changes, or all of these
Tons
things?
of
And so
information.
it was a very deep dive that far exceeds the depth of a BDC live and of my pay grade. Andrew's one of the
He went on a
smartest
roll
people
for
I
90
know. He
minutes,
was a
so
90
we
minute
cannot
presentation.
possibly recap all of that.
But we've been
But
seeing this for a
yes.
long time. Here's what the wildfires, we have inflation going on. In an effort to arrest inflation, well, the federal government has been over time creeping up the interest rates. And some could argue, I don't think it's a creep, but interest rates have gone up significantly in the last 6 months. And this is being done in an effort to control the inflation. One of the things that they're fighting, and it's hard to force in an effort to control inflation, is unemployment. So unemployment has remained relatively low. So we have a low unemployment. We keep trying to push the interest rates. We've got to get the inflation to come back to earth. That way, it doesn't roll away from us. And the reason why this is important is because, and we've talked about this forever, is because it puts a strain on the lower and middle class of this country, because those that have a fixed income, for example, and have a budget that they're living on, and then all of a sudden the things that you have to buy within the budget are going
Going up.
up in price. Now your money, your salary can't stretch across all of your basic needs. The less money that you make in a fixed income, the bigger the strain becomes. And in actuality, um, in the lower income brackets, we have to begin to actually consider budget cuts. We have to consider, like, maybe I don't, I can't buy the new shoes that I want. Maybe I have to cut back on my gym membership. I have to start making cutbacks. That's where we were. We've been talking about that for at least a good 2 years, trying to tell people this is real
Right.
and this is what is going on. Well, then we had a little problem that occurred this week that everybody wanted to know, well, what is going on. And that problem is that in California, this bank, Silicon Valley Bank, they were receiving a lot of money. Now, this is interesting because there's also the sort of the undercurrent. I don't know if I would call it conspiracy theory side, because it's true. It's not
Yep.
a, it's a ton of wealth, a ton of depositors came into Silicon Valley Bank across the pandemic. All of a sudden, you have all of these tech companies doing well, and then you have all of this money flowing in. Now, normally how banks function is they receive the deposits and then they loan this money out, right? So they receive your money and they pay you an interest on your money,
And then
low
they take that
1%.
money and they loan it to other people to buy homes
And
or
there's a spread,
yeah.
3 or 4%, and that's how the
Mhm.
bank is making money. Well, Silicon Valley Bank did something unique, questionably unique. We don't know if how unique it was, but unique
It's
at the
just been
time.
highlighted or uncovered would be that
And
word.
what they did is they bought government bonds. And so
Right.
they went out and they bought these government bonds, and they were long-term holds. I believe they were 10-year bonds. So the maturity was 10 years. And rather than loan the money out, they were going to buy these bonds, and they bought a significant amount of these bonds. And the way that bonds work is as interest rates go up, without breaking it down fundamentally, all you really need to know is as interest rates go up, your
The
bonds
bonds become
become
worth
worth
less.
less. And well, interest rates start climbing and going consistently and steadily up, the bonds are worth less, and the bank is now holding the bag. They're holding these bonds. And when we look to, and this word has come up, unrealized losses, right? So the losses were real, but they weren't reflected on the books,
Balance sheet.
on the
Mhm.
balance sheet. And then this starts to come to light that this bank is holding all of these bonds, and in order to pay the depositors, what they would have to do is sell the bonds at a loss, which then would be a realized loss. Then, when this comes to light,
The
then
depositors get
they get
panicky.
panicky and they all
And what
start going down to
do?
the bank. They make a line, they want
Taking
their
all their
money.
money.
And lo and behold, the bank doesn't
Yeah.
actually have the money. Now, it's not like they did something shady. They just didn't have the money because the money was tied up in bonds, and the
Mhm.
bonds were at 1%. And then this was a big, giant dilemma. So then this causes this run. The feds have to step in because the money for the depositors isn't there. And then the feds did something very unique. So we have this FDIC insurance, which insures your deposit account up to $250,000. Well, the United States government was like, listen, we're going to cover your entire balance. Now, a lot of arguments are being made that, listen, because these are principal donors to a certain political party,
That maybe they
and
had favorable treatment to this bank.
90 plus percent, I believe the number was 96% of all of the deposit accounts at this bank exceeded the 250,000 FDIC limit. Well, this is interesting because now the government comes and they're like, hey, don't worry about it. We're just going to put the money. And in my argument that have made with several of my learned financial friends is, well, in effect, two things. One, that is actually taxpayer money because the government is not engaged in any other revenue generating things
Except
other than the
collecting money
collecting
from
taxes
each and every one of us.
or just making it out of
Right.
thin air. So in
They either
either
they
way,
have to print more, which will cause
more
more
inflation.
inflation, or they need to increase your taxes, which still also puts
Puts
pressure
pressure.
on the people.
And so now maybe we have this whole, it's only on the people making 400,000 or more, or maybe we have to tax everybody more because we're giving away the money. And the problem is the money went to the rich.
Right.
The very difficult thing about this is that it was the a high net worth individuals were protected by this move. I mean, and I think that's very important. High net worth individuals were very protected in this move. Now, I'm not saying that it was only done just to protect the individuals, because it had to be done, because what it does is it creates downward pressure on the other small banks, because then it's happening. People are like, well, what about at my bank? Maybe
Right.
I should go and get my
They
money
also wanted to
out.
stop people from panicking because if everybody tried to begin to take their money out, we would have a real other big issue.
Right, you've heard this contagion,
Yeah.
right? Where everybody now, it just starts to spread
Mhm.
because Lacey's pulling her money out, I'm pulling my money out, the panic starts to hit, and this literally would cause the collapse of the banks. And now that's what I was saying earlier is, but you don't know if your bank is leveraged highly in 1% government
Yeah.
bonds, because if not, this might not be an issue,
An issue
right?
or a
And so now
problem.
that's what people are wondering is, what are the banks doing, and what about the regulators and the risk managers? And SVB didn't have a risk manager, and so they acquired a ton of risk and they were doing a lot of funny things. And so now here's where we are. Everybody wants to know, well, what happens next? Well, now we have literally backed the government into a corner, right? The government is looking at this, and we've got inflation running out of control. So the textbook move for the government is to raise interest rates. In fact, they had already announced, listen, you should expect a raise coming. And it has been surmised that it would be a 50 basis points raise in the interest rates. Well, that's kind of problematic, because what that does is that puts more pressure and gap on anybody holding these bonds. So it actually if the banks had bought a lot of long-term bonds and we raised the interest rates, it actually
Creates more
devalues,
issue for the banks,
makes
right?
more issue for the banks. And then now that could then come to light. And then now people are back requesting their money out. And then we see more banks collapse. Now, personally, I think that there is probably one more bank to go. A lot of people are talking Credit Suisse today. That's the news. I don't know if it's Credit Suisse. I'm not that deeply involved in that, but I do think that there will come to light one more bank. And I think one more bank will set off a big problem, right? So I do think that one is coming, one more collapse, but I do think that that collapse will cause a problem. But here's the other thing. Um, the other thing that the government could do is say, listen, we're going to create some sort of a safety net for the banks relative to their bonds. And
Right.
so, in essence, we're going to, and they don't like the term bailout.
Bailout.
So,
Yeah.
we're going to create this safety net, a stopgap on these bonds. That way, the banks are protected and they won't end up in this hyper leveraged situation. But then, what the question is, if I create that stopgap, do I still raise interest rates? Right. And so we're caught in this dilemma. If I create the stopgap and I don't raise interest rates, which that's what people are saying, that most likely there'll be a stopgap and no interest rate hike. Well, then now inflation is running unchecked. And we've all seen the potential in other third world countries where all of a sudden, because of inflation running literally unchecked, overnight your gas goes from say $4 a gallon
To
now
8
to
or
no to
10. Oh,
$800 a gallon.
geez.
You see these times when people are having to go, it's still $4, but the value,
Got it.
right? Because we're devaluing the currency, we're driving inflation. And then all of a sudden, your net worth, you still are worth whatever you're worth, but your buying power with that money has
Is
shrunk
decreased.
tremendously, right? And so what we were trying to do is like we didn't want to have this like giant bang like where that happens, and that has happened historically in other third world countries. We wanted to do this slowly over time. Well, now we've got our hands tied because either we're going to help these banks, which could be in a dilemma, or we're going to be worried about inflation, but it's going to be really difficult for us to worry about them both.
Mhm.
So, what does that mean to everybody? Well, unfortunately, our guidance doesn't change.
Mhm.
What really has happened is we have become more right than ever.
And now we see a more clear timeline.
Well, I
Even
mean,
more so. I mean, you
there's
can
it's just an
he's
accelerated
it's
timeline.
accelerated with it. We should really know what's happening, he said Andrew said within the next 90 days.
Well, I think that even more so because I think, if we get a third bank that goes, and that probably is not going to happen 90 days out. Like now everybody is like, we're on the topic. People are wondering what's going on if we lose another bank. That will probably happen in I would say the next week or two. And then after that, we're looking at the fallout because over the next 90 days is when we're going to get the indications as to what the movements will be. Either we're attempting to buoy the bond market or we're attempting to raise interest rates. Kind of difficult to do both, but both kind of need to be done. But here's what happens. Here's what I want everybody to understand. If we go in and we back the banks and we help out the banks, what that really does is it stabilizes the banking, the financial world. And what it will probably do is we'll get a concomitant effect in the stock market where we'll see a resurgence in the stock market because we're protecting the rich. We're protecting the wealthy by doing this, much like we did in Silicon Valley Bank. We protected the wealthy. In that move, inflation moving unchecked, still the middle and the lower class are impacted. On the flip side, if we raise interest rates, well, we do impact the wealthy, but we still protect to a degree the wealthy by checking the inflation. But now we have this risk over here with the banks and the bond market. And now we even have we're affecting again the middle and lower classes. It is a situation where for all businesses, where the word necessity becomes vital. Like you will not stop buying eggs or milk or water, meat, things that you need as a necessity. You will not stop paying rent or your mortgage if you have one. You will not stop buying gas or you're making car payments. But you may, like I said earlier, discontinue your gym membership. You may discontinue your BDC membership because you were squeezed, because you did not take action, you were not proactive. But you have to think about your business and how do you make your business a necessity And that is the key to being able to survive over the next, as you're saying now, 90 days.
And again, this information is never meant to scare you or freak you out or make you panic. Information is power, and your ability to understand what potentially is coming down the pipeline puts you in a position of getting ahead of everybody else in the market. And so, like what Sean is saying, and that's what I was hearing you at the very beginning talk about, is this idea of necessity. You have to begin to position yourself in the eyes of your current clients and patients and potential prospects about being a necessity. So you should go to the drawing board tonight, tomorrow, and say, how can I shift even my languaging, some of my marketing, the information that I'm putting out there to showcase my value to the individuals that are currently involved with my service and that potentially would be involved with my
And
service.
it's not
Think
saying I'm
about
a
it
necessity.
now.
And it's not,
Yes.
I'm a necessity. Like, okay, wait, no, you have to demonstrate.
You demonstrate, like
To
that's what I'm saying. It's a
position.
languaging, it's a positioning, right? It's not just screaming it from the rooftops. And maybe even like we talk about this all the time. This is an opportunity for you to go to your current patient and client base and say, how have you found me to be necessary in your life, right? What kind of value are you getting by coming in here and seeing the languaging that they utilize, because that can arm you with the proper way to showcase and highlight and talk about what you do without trying to shove it down their throats.
And I think the word necessity is important too, because a lot of times people struggle with that and they're like, man, but frankly, I'm not a necessity.
I think non-negotiable, we like
Non-negotiable
the
is another word.
languaging of too,
We
like
can talk about results. Like, look, you may be trying to, right? And I would say this myself. You may be trying to navigate the next 90 days. You might want to quit Quest 7, quit coaching, quit IPO, quit your BDC membership. You might want to go to some brand new group. But here's what I will tell you. Your odds of navigating successfully these turbulent whitewater times are exponentially higher with me and Lacey on your team than without. Would you agree? Now, if you say, no, I don't agree, then we're not a necessity.
right.
But if you say, yeah, I agree that, well, then you should think twice before you make cuts, because your odds of navigating these turbulent times without your gym membership are high. But without us, they are lower than if you just try to close your eyes and fly blind. Well, you would take your particular business and say the same. Look, you've been using my services, whatever it is, for X period of time. Would you agree? I saw Lonnie on here. Would you agree that your odds of maintaining your personal brand, of looking well, maintaining your job, maintaining your clients, feeling confident are higher with me as your stylist than buying a kit at CVS and trying to color your own hair? Would you agree? And most people would be like, yeah, I do agree with that.
Right.
Therefore, do you see the necessity of utilizing and engaging my services? One other thing I just wanted to highlight, because we asked Andrew this question and I couldn't agree anymore. We asked him, what should you be doing right now?
Oh, yes.
Right now.
Yep.
And he had a long, in-depth
Ton-
explanation, again,
quite a
that
few
far
things.
exceeds what we can cover here in BDC Live, not because we're hiding anything, but because this is just a live on YouTube.
Yep.
But I'll tell you the number one answer, he said, is focus on short-term cash flow. And I got to tell you, like, man, if you don't have some strategies for the next 90 days to focus on short-term cash flow. Now, he gave us a formula on how to double our revenue while tripling our profits. Well, that's the magic Andrew Norman sauce. But the first thing to doing that was focusing on short-term cash flow. And I'll tell you the secret to increasing your short-term cash flow: sales. You have to know how to sell in a down market if you want to focus on short-term cash flow. If you're like, I'm going to wait until this is over and then utilize my old tired scripts that I learned from the scripting person because it will work in a up economy, that's a long-term cash flow strategy. Right. I hope you make it, because it could last upwards of 3 years. Most are predicting where this is a
18 to
turbulent
36 months,
time.
they're saying. Yeah.
So your old ways, you're going to have to put them on the shelf for the next 3 years. You can bring them back out in 2027. But in the meantime, short-term cash flow and adaptations to your marketing and sales processes are what are going to help you to weather the storm. And I'll tell you this last thing: if you're going to wait, if you're like, I'm going to wait, Sean, you've been saying this for 2 years, I'm going to wait until the third bank collapses and then we get the absolute, rock bottom and there's a run on the bank, then I'm going to worry about it. First of all, I'll tell you, we will have come and gone from Austin. it will be too late for you as well. The scripted people, they're going to have the same scripts. So you're not going to be able to get any guidance there. And here's the worst thing is that the people that have made proactive moves are going to be seen by the public. You're going to lose clients because the clients are going to move to the current of where they find safety. You talk a lot about this, where they find safety. This is what people are doing with the banks.
Right.
They're leaving their bank because they're worried. The amount of new deposits coming into Chase and Wells Fargo over the last 48 to 72 hours. Why are people doing that? Because they feel like it is safer. I got to tell you, when your competitors start to crumble, when they start making cutbacks,
you need to be the safe bet.
You need to be the safe haven for every single one of your current clients, your competitors' clients, and your prospects, because they will find their way to you as long as they're in the category where they have the income to be able to participate.
And best case scenario, nothing changes, right? And you learned more about sales than you had before. Like you have no harm. Like you have no harm.
I went to your silly workshop and then the economy boomed. I want my money back.
But listen, we're realists over here at BDC, and we want to prep you. The other thing, and we've been saying this for a really long time, as the economy shifts and things like this happen, the other thing, and Andrew Norman confirmed it today in the Quest 7 call, is that oftentimes we see unemployment on the rise. And if that does happen, that means that also there is going to be a lot of talent available for you to take advantage of, to take your business to new heights that you never thought possible. But that also means that you have to have short-term cash flow so that you have cash available to invest in these individuals. So that's also really important.
Absolutely. Let's get some winners. Winners.
I
got 5 names coming at you. Who's on the mic tonight? Nothing better than DJ James Lewis.
What's happening?
How's it going, Jamesy?
It was good. I had the pleasure of being listening in the background on that Andrew Norman call. Wow. That dude is super smart, super knowledgeable. Got my wheels turning a little bit when it comes to just trying to figure out what's going on. So I always appreciate when he drops in, just drops gold all the time.
Absolutely.
James, you need like a little tagline. I just found out Clinton Sparks, he says, "Get familiar." Clinton Sparks he drops that in his mixtapes. Get familiar.
Oh, what you think James like? Because he has the.
Wait, what's James's? What's your tagline, James?
I don't know. I'd have to think about that. People say I say right on, like right on a lot.
Right on.
Right on.
Yeah, you say a little more chill than that though, like right on. Yeah.
That wouldn't be like a hype, like get familiar or
yeah.
That would only work on that only works on the slow jams.
Yeah. Right on. Welcome to Late Night Slow Jams with James.
WLOV with James Lewis. Right on.
See, that would work. That would work. Yeah, I need 2 versions, like a chill, slow one, and then I got to figure out
a hype one. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, we oiled up the canasta.
James has got 5 names coming at y'all tonight.
They're making noise. We can see it. All right.
You can't even hear this thing anymore.
Yeah, Pat went a little wild with the oil. Yep.
Yeah, shout out.
Everybody cheer for James. If you want James to pull your name, let's see some James love in the chat. James Lewis in the house, pulling 5 names. We got to get everything all queued up so that we can find us a winner. Remember, you must be present to claim your prize. You must be present. We're giving away $500, about half a rack tonight. About half a rack.
I love it. Everybody says that James got the voice. Come on, James.
And I don't have
right on, James. Got some right-ons in there.
Right
on, James.
It might be. It might be right on.
I like it.
All right, you got the names? You got the first one up?
Hold on. Let me get my timer.
All right, and get the music. Got to get the music.
Slow jams. I get that music. Oh yeah. Sometime next time you come on, you should just do the R&B slow jams for the 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, I need a R&B slow jam song. We should get everybody on the team like a special.
Yeah, their theme song.
Oh gosh.
Yeah, everybody on the team can have a different theme song.
What would the Twisty theme song be? That's gonna be wild.
He'd do
John Cena.
Yeah, for sure. All right, James, what's our first name?
All right, first name goes to Lindsay Mack.
Lindsay Mack.
You're the winner.
It looked like Lacey Book from here. I was like, did you pull
Lindsay Mack. Lindsay Mack.
Lindsay
Winner,
Mack.
winner. Lindsay Mack dinner. Half a rack
$500
for Lindsay Mack. Oh, I love it.
Lindsay.
It's half a rack for Lindsay Mack.
Matt.
Half a rack for
Hey.
Lindsay Mack.
Half a rack for Lindsay Mack. Come on, Lindsay. Half a rack for
Let's
Lindsay
go.
Mack.
Come on.
Matt.
Somebody said Twisty song would be "Cause I Got High." Lindsay.
Half a rack for Lindsay
All
Mack.
right.
Oh man.
Lindsay Mack lost her half a rack.
All right.
Aw, and
right.
Sean can rap.
Okay, Robert Delude, I see you.
All right. Name number 2.
We're drawing 5 names. Number 2 is coming at you.
Name number 2 goes to Allison Asher.
Allison. I feel like she's got
Allison,
called before
Chicks
too.
Who click? Chicks who click.
Yes.
Allison Asher, you've won half a rack.
Allison's been in BDC for a very long time.
Yeah, Allison's been a long time BDC supporter.
Yeah.
Allison is in Australia.
Yeah, she might
So I have
be
no idea
sleeping.
what time it is in Australia.
No, because Billy's
But
up right
yep,
now.
Billy Chow is up.
Yeah.
Allison Asher
So it's like
got
morning
ooh,
time.
and you know what? $500 US. That's like $1 million Aussie dollars. Like
Maybe
holy
not
smokes.
soon.
Boom.
I don't know.
All
Yeah.
right.
She's-
All right.
All right.
Hello, Allison.
All right. Well, we got a Twisty song. While James is pulling the other name, what would Luke's song be? What would Luke's song be?
He likes
Oh, what that
Sweetie,
Sweetie
like
or whatever.
Megan
that
Thee Stallion, Nicki Minaj type songs. Like female rap songs is Luke.
female rap songs. Pat likes like
Anything.
anything. Yeah, Pat will like anything. You could pick any song. You could pick a song for Pat out of a canasta and he'd be happy. The
That's
canasta song. Oh, I love it. All right, who we got, James?
Number 3.
All right. Number 3, we got Darby Simmons Stone.
Darby Simmons Stone.
Darby.
It's the lady with 3 names.
With 3
Darby
names.
Simmons. Oh, I thought nope. Darby.
Simmons Stone.
Name number
Chris
3.
Collins.
3
Is
names.
this Russia? Because you guys are stalling. Oh my god.
God.
That is such a dad joke.
Oh
Chris
my gosh.
Collins
What would
dad
Chris
jokes.
Collins' song be?
Oh,
Darby,
Darby Simmons.
show yourself.
Come on, where are you at?
Darby,
Darby
where you
Simmons
at?
Stone.
I saw Josh on here. What would Josh's song be?
Josh's song would be I Ain't Gonna Tell You.
You don't get to know.
You don't get to know. I want to know in the comment section, what would the Sean and Lacey song be? I want to know what people think about. Yeah, Josh is definitely a rap song, but yeah, I want to know what Sean and Lacey's song would be.
Do we have a combo song or do we have our own individual songs?
Put them both in the comments.
Oh.
A combo song and then individual songs.
I love it.
Ooh, all I do is win. Yeah.
Oh yeah, win. Yeah,
Okay.
that'd be a good one. I like that.
That'd be a good one. All right. Uh-huh. A
So
Get
we-
Money song for Josh. Oh, that's right. That's so on brand,
Yeah.
Josh. That makes so much
Yeah.
sense. I love that. Yep.
Sonny
I
and
get
Cher.
money.
I got you, babe.
Sunny and Cher. God.
Oh, let's get down to business.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I forgot about that
I do like that song. I like
you
that
do
song.
love that song. Sean loves that song.
one.
Sean loves that song. All right, pull another name while they're putting in songs.
Number 4.
Number 4 goes to Theopolis Smith.
Theopolis
Theo
Smith,
Smith.
Fresh Laundry.
Laundry.
Oh, I saw Theo's work being highlighted at the Oscars. Look,
Yeah.
if you guys haven't gone to
That was-
freshlaundry.com, check out this work. Oh my gosh. And I'm just going to add $500 to Theopolis right now. Theo, you're the big winner. You got $500, about half a rack coming
You're
to you,
here.
Theo.
Are you here?
Back.
Come on, Theo.
Oh, man,
You're the big
Theo,
winner.
Come on. 4 seconds. Let's go.
Bump, ba-dum, bump, bump. Oh my gosh.
Man.
Theo.
Was that name number 3?
No, it's 4.
That was
That was
4?
4.
One
We got
name
one
left.
Oh man, I feel like I want to give away some money. You know, Today's a great day to give away money.
Hey, everybody. So we got
Today was wild. Today was a wild day. Like, I would
wild.
feel great giving away money.
Hey, James, isn't tonight there's basketball on, right? Playing games? Is that what's going on?
I believe, well, there was last night. I don't know if it is tonight.
All right,
Somebody,
here, I'll tell
I don't know
everybody who
for
I've
sure.
got in the finals.
Mm.
UCLA versus Indiana. I told you that Indiana was going to go deep. I got them going all the way to the finals. UCLA
Wow.
versus Indiana in the final. Unfortunately, for all my Hoosiers, got UCLA winning the entire thing. UCLA is going to win the entire thing. Shawnstradomus prediction. And hey, everybody, tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern, you guys know how I roll. Vanderpump Rules. We got the Scandal Ball episodes are coming at you. Oh my gosh, this has been even better than SVB. I have to put in equal time between Scandal Ball and SVB.
While I'm watching cooking shows, he's down the Scandal Ball rabbit hole.
This stuff is great. If you don't know what's going on in the Scandal Ball world,
universe.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Ask Sean, he knows everything.
My gosh, yeah.
He's so deep in it. He was on Reddit.
Yeah.
Like reading about this
threads.
stuff. Yeah.
I got to find out. Like I'm piecing together timelines. Oh my gosh, this is crazy.
And it is the Ides of March. Everybody's posting that. I felt like Caesar a couple times today, but you know what? I'm back. This is good. I want to give away money.
I don't know why you feel like Sigrid. Nothing bad happened. Like you
No,
just
people
handled
are
everything
crazy.
like a pro.
Yeah,
People got all crazy. It's a 7-day. You know what that means, James? 7-day. Well, since Lacey knew it was a 7-day, she had her 7-day armor up. She like deflected all the stuff. Nothing bad happened. We're immune to bad.
Everything is good because everything is to protect and promote each and every one of you.
Protect and promote.
That's what you have to believe.
All right, the last winner. Then we're going to go to Vanderpump
Remember,
Rules and
everybody,
Scandal Ball.
It's not the love of money. You don't love money. Money loves you.
No. If money has you, it's a problem. But if you have money, it's a good thing.
All right. Who's going to have some money on name number 5?
Let's hope for Amanda Elliott.
Amanda Elliott.
You are the big winner. $500, half a rack.
Amanda. Oh, Susie, it wasn't your call. I loved our calls today, Susie. I thought it was killer. Yes.
Allison Asher just missed out.
Oh,
Allison, you just
not Missy
missed
Elliott. No, Allison Elliott.
Yeah, Allison Elliott. And I'm so sad. Yeah, Allison, you were so close.
You were so close.
You were so close.
Chicks Who Click.
We had $500
Everybody check out
for
Chicks
you.
Who Click, though, because, I mean, after all, she's in Australia. She showed up even after she got a call, and she was like, all right, now I'm in. So everybody should at least visit Chicks Who Click. You should find a way to engage because, look, she's a super sport, and she showed up anyway. Amanda Elliott, you didn't claim your prize, man.
We're trying.
Next week, $600, 6 names. Oh man, we're gonna be coming to you live from Sales Matters in Austin. The show will be coming broadcast live, and it will be a pre-show. That means that you and I will not be on. Just like the Become the Authority Challenge. We're going to have the pregame show. You know, like when you watch college football game day and you get all of the build up, that's what's going to be next week. You're going to have the entire team. We're going to have, everyone, all the producers are producing and starring at the same time on the show. But even though we're not there because we got to prep for the big event, we are going to be giving away $600 and drawing 6 names. Now, I didn't think about this. I don't know how well the canasta travels. So James, you might have to film the drawing, and then you could put it into a briefcase, handcuff it to Luke's hand, and then carry it to Austin, pop it open. We read the 6 names. I think that would be fair.
Hey, but listen, more valuable than the $600 that you could potentially win next week is actually sitting down and figuring out how to make yourself a non-negotiable to all of the people that you serve and will serve. Way more valuable. So please do that. I think that please do that.
I also think that what will be very valuable as well for everybody that watches a behind the scenes look at a BDC workshop. Everybody knows. Well, not everybody knows. I'm sorry. I'll have to do that at some point. I'm going to tell you why I believe that live workshops are going to be at a premium in the coming year or two.
Yes.
Driven mostly by artificial intelligence and all of the advances that are happening to there. Chat GPT-4 released today. And this is going to drive, in my opinion, drive people back into live workshops. And a lot of people are like, well, I don't know how to put on a workshop. Well,
You do.
the very ones who put on our workshops are going to be with you next week, right here on BDC Live, Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, an opportunity to pull back the curtain for them to talk about what goes into the preparation of putting on the production that is a BDC workshop. I think that a lot of you will be kind of amazed at how much production goes on, from all of it. We look like a rock band when we travel, right? All of the equipment that travels with us,
All the
cases, the
suitcases and
suitcases, how they get that through. Maybe we shouldn't tell how we get that through the airport. James used to work at Delta, so we know all the tricks, how we get all of our equipment through, without, being absolutely demolished on extra bag fees. The setup, what the setup looks like, the reservations, the planning. And then, of course, James does so much production leading up to that, because the audio's got to be right, the video's got to be right. We stream out, right? So no matter where you are in the room, you can see us from the side screens, all of the production that's there. Well, I'm going to ask the team to kind of pull back the curtain and share with you what their experience is leading up to a workshop.
Love it.
You don't want to miss it.
Nope.
All right, everybody. Next week, $600, 6 names. Lacey and I love and appreciate you all so very much for taking your time to be with us each and every week. We wish you more abundant blessings than you could possibly imagine or fathom. And here's the craziest thing is whatever you think is coming, don't worry. It's going to be even bigger and better than even that. See you next week.